My daughter scored 1570 points on the SAT. That day, my husband took her to the water park. Later in the evening, she called me at work. She said my husband had received a call from a woman on their way home and dropped her off at a highway intersection. I told her to get off the highway quickly, but as soon as I finished speaking, I heard a loud crash. My daughter had been hit by a truck. At the hospital, the doctor said she had suffered a severe head injury, and only Dr. Stewart, the vice president of Center Hospital, could perform the surgery. Dr. Stewart is my husband. After dozens of calls, he finally answered. Our daughter has been in a car accident. Please come and save her, I pleaded. Are you crazy? You made up a car accident just to get me back, he scolded. Aiden, come here quickly. I heard the voice of his first love, Maria, on the other end of the call. He hung up. When I called again, his phone was off. As I kept calling, my daughter's vital signs dropped rapidly. The attending doctor rushed into the ICU with 2 nurses. Half an hour later, he came out. Doctor, how is my daughter? I sobbed and my whole body shook. She needs surgery immediately, or she won't make it. Is Dr. Stewart the only one who can perform this surgery? Yes. Your daughter suffered a severe head injury. Dr. Stewart is the only one in the city who has successfully performed this surgery. Can we transfer her to another city? She won't survive the transfer. Dr. Stewart must perform the surgery. Go find him at Center Hospital. My daughter scored 1570 points on the SAT. That day, my husband took her to the water park. Later in the evening, she called me at work. She said my husband had received a call from a woman on their way home and dropped her off at a highway intersection. I told her to get off the highway quickly, but as soon as I finished speaking, I heard a loud crash. My daughter had been hit by a truck. At the hospital, the doctor said she had suffered a severe head injury, and only Dr. Stewart, the vice president of Center Hospital, could perform the surgery. Dr. Stewart is my husband. After dozens of calls, he finally answered. Our daughter has been in a car accident. Please come and save her, I pleaded. Are you crazy? You made up a car accident just to get me back, he scolded. Aiden, come here quickly. I heard the voice of his first love, Maria, on the other end of the call. He hung up. When I called again, his phone was off. As I kept calling, my daughter's vital signs dropped rapidly. The attending doctor rushed into the ICU with 2 nurses. Half an hour later, he came out. Doctor, how is my daughter? I sobbed and my whole body shook. She needs surgery immediately, or she won't make it. Is Dr. Stewart the only one who can perform this surgery? Yes. Your daughter suffered a severe head injury. Dr. Stewart is the only one in the city who has successfully performed this surgery. Can we transfer her to another city? She won't survive the transfer. Dr. Stewart must perform the surgery. Go find him at Center Hospital. Aiden was on vacation and had turned off his phone. He was with Maria, but I didn't have her contact information. Suddenly, I remembered seeing her short video account recently. I opened it and found her account. I wanted to ask her privately, but she had just released a video. The video was filmed at a hospital, and the caption was, "When I was most helpless, you always showed up first. Thank you for letting me lean on you." The video attached a location at Harborview Hospital. I drove to Harborview. After 3 hours, I arrived at Harborview Hospital at 8:30 in the morning. I saw Aiden and Maria sitting on a bench. Maria leaned on Aiden's shoulder. Aiden, my daughter will be okay, right? Don't worry, it's just a minor surgery for meningitis. I can handle it. Aiden? I yelled angrily, just wanted him to go back quickly to save my daughter. They separated immediately. How did you find me? Did you put a tracker in my car? Aiden questioned. I didn't dare to waste time, so I reached out to pull him. No time to explain. Our daughter had a car accident and is in the ICU. Only you can save her. He shook off my hand angrily. Claire, are you done yet? Why do you always think Maria and I are doing something wrong? I'm here to perform surgery on Maria's daughter. Claire, I understand you're jealous, but my daughter needs Aiden's help, Maria added pitifully. Tears streamed down my face. Aiden, you're choosing to save someone else's daughter over your own? Claire, Maria was my first love, but that's in the past. Now Maria's daughter has meningitis, and I came here to save her. You followed me and cursed my daughter. You are becoming more vicious, he said contemptuously. Aiden, our daughter is in the ICU. Come with me and see for yourself. I cried bitterly, and my whole body was shaking with anxiety. Claire, I know you can't stand seeing us together, but my daughter needs Aiden for surgery. Don't be jealous now, Maria interrupted. Shut up! I slapped her. "Claire, how dare you hit Maria?" Aiden was furious and moved to hit me, but Maria stopped him. "Aiden, you need to perform surgery soon. Don't get angry," Maria said calmly. "It's almost time. I'll wait in the operating room." Aiden turned and left. I rushed forward and tried to hold Aiden, but Maria held me back. "Aiden, please, come back and save our daughter." I cried and called out, but he didn't even turn his head. "My daughter really needs you to save her. Please come back with me." He disappeared from my sight. Grief-stricken, I cried until I fainted. When I woke up, I found myself lying in a hospital bed. I walked out of the ward and soon saw Aiden in the ward across from mine. "Mr. Stewart, thank you for performing the surgery on me," said Molly, Maria's daughter, lying in her hospital bed. "Molly, from now on, you can call Mr. Stewart Godfather," Maria said with a smile. "Godfather," Molly called sweetly. "Be good," Aiden gently touched Molly's forehead. "Take good care of yourself. Her daughter's surgery is complete. Can you go back with me?" I said anxiously. "Her daughter's surgery is complete. Can you go back with me?" I said anxiously. "Aiden, please stay for a few more days. If my daughter has any complications, I'll feel at ease knowing you're here," Maria pleaded, holding Aiden's hand tightly. The nurse nearby said, "Don't worry, there won't be any complications." Then in a low voice she added, "Your daughter just had meningitis. It wasn't a major surgery. Our doctors could have handled it. Why did you insist on bringing in a specialist? Aiden, her daughter's surgery is over. Why are you still here? Are you waiting until our daughter dies to regret it?" I shouted angrily. "I've never seen a mother like you. You said your daughter was dying just because of jealousy," Maria said, embarrassed. "This is a hospital. Keep your voice down. Go back first. I'll be back in a few days," Aiden said coldly. Just then, my daughter's attending physician called. "Ms. Johansson, please come to the hospital to see your daughter one last time." I quickly turned on the speakerphone and asked the physician to explain the situation to Aiden. "It's amazing she even hired actors," Maria said sarcastically. "Claire, I admire your acting skills. Get out of the ward. I don't want to see you," Aiden said with disgust. "Aiden, remember, you are the one who killed our daughter." I rushed out of the hospital and drove to the hospital where my daughter was. When I arrived, she was already in the morgue. I didn't even get to see her one last time. Holding her cold body, I cried out in agony, feeling as if my soul was being torn apart. I took care of her funeral alone. Holding her urn, I still couldn't believe she was gone. She had scored 1570 on the SAT and was excited to go to her dream university. But now she was gone forever. My daughter was so well-behaved, smart, and filial. Her life had just begun. I locked myself in her room, touching her things over and over, feeling overwhelmed with sadness and depression. 3 days later, Aiden called. "Claire, my mother is holding a graduation banquet for Kathy in her hometown. You should arrive early tomorrow." I hugged my daughter's urn tightly and said through gritted teeth, "Okay." Aiden and I met one hot summer. I had heat stroke and collapsed on the road. He happened to pass by, and as a medical student, he rescued me. Thus we formed a bond. Afterward, we found that our hobbies were very similar and we had more topics to talk about. After 2 years of dating, we got married. As a doctor, he was very busy. I worked and managed the household so he wouldn't have to worry about anything. One day, I found an intimate photo of him and a girl in his wallet. When I asked about it, he said it was his first love, Maria. He watched my reaction nervously. Trying to be understanding, I said everyone has someone special from their past. He seemed touched by my reaction. After our daughter Kathy was born, he tore up that photo in front of me. Our family of 3 was happy until Maria divorced 3 years ago. That's when Aiden began to change. He started supporting Maria financially and giving her his time. "Time is life," he often said. He lied about business trips and emergency surgeries to spend time with her in Harborview. He answered calls late at night and said it was an emergency surgery, but it was Maria who had a nightmare and wanted him to come over. The limited time he had for our family was now shared with Maria. I tolerated it, hoping he'd come back to us, but it only got worse. Finally, I exploded. It was our daughter's birthday, and we were waiting for him to take us to Disneyland. When he didn't show up, I called him. He said he was at the hospital for an emergency and told us to go without him. Later, I checked his phone and found out he was with Maria on our daughter's birthday. Aiden, when I was cutting vegetables, I thought about our time together and accidentally cut my finger. Maria had texted along with a photo of a small cut. I laughed bitterly. By the time Aiden arrived, it had already healed. Yet he still left me and our daughter to be with Maria. I brought my daughter's urn to her hometown. There were over 20 tables set up. "Aiden, you're so lucky to have such a promising daughter. She scored 1570 on the exam and can easily choose a top university, said a relative. It's all in the genes. Aiden was an excellent student, so his children are bound to be excellent too. The Stewart family grows stronger with each generation. Kathy is so smart. Friends and relatives complimented him. Aiden looked very happy and proud. Will Kathy go to Harvard and Cambridge? Asked Aiden's cousin Benjamin. It depends on Kathy's choice. Both schools have extended offers to her so she can pick whichever she prefers, Aiden said proudly. Why are you only here now? Didn't I tell you to come earlier? Aiden muttered angrily when he saw me. Where is our daughter?